What's up again, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Thank You Five podcast. Today, I am joined by another special guest. I am joined by my main man, my brother, one of America's finest out there serving our country, Mr. Emmanuel Pleasant. Manny, how are you feeling, bro?
Good. I'm just happy to be on.
Great. Now, as you can see from my background, today we are talking all things comics. I wasn't always a comic book fanatic, and I will say that it was the MCU that kind of nudged me into getting into comics. Emmanuel, if you had to pick a top superhero, like your favorite hero or villain, DC or Marvel, who are you rocking with?
Let me see. I've always loved Shazam. I love that, or like Captain Marvel before they changed everything. I love that. I loved him before. Villain wise, I'm still kind of like, well, actually no. I want to say you can say Superboy, but he's not really like, he's in the middle, I guess, in a sense.
Kind of like an anti-hero villain.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say Shazam. I literally hear nobody talk about Shazam, and I don't think enough people give Black Adam enough credit too. Along with they don't give Shazam enough credit. They don't give Black Adam enough credit either.
I mean, if you like, when I look at it and I see them, I'm like, they're not just like, some to the side like action hero. Like, they're actually like really powerful in their own respect.
Did you have you seen Shazam?
The movie, yes. That was hilarious.
So I was kind of like, it seemed kind of underwhelming because of what I went into it like anticipating. Because I think it's safe to say that Shazam was low-key a kids movie.
Right.
Well, if they had made it more adult, I would have been a little more receptive. Like,
yeah.
Shazam seemed like something I could take my nephew to go see.
And it was. Another thing I would say, I was thinking more of a like what I went in there thinking. I thought it was gonna be like a Deadpool type of like a comedic like superhero movie, which it wasn't like to the extent that Deadpool pushed the limit, and like that was understandable because that character in itself, he pushes the limit.
Right.
So it wasn't like a bad movie at all, but it was just like, this is what I like. You go into thing and then you come out getting this, and I wasn't disappointed with what I got either,
And that's kind of like what I've noticed with DC, the DC Extended Universe. I think that's the name of their movie production. I feel like they're trying so hard to be as family friendly as the MCU, but the MCU, even in the comics, they just have more family friendly characters. DC has always succeeded in terms of their darker characters, but trying to make them lighter, and it's just like you can't do that. And that's why I feel movies like the Dark Knight trilogy and Joker ultimately succeeded, and stuff like the Justice League and Aquaman kind of folded.
Yeah, I mean, well, Shazam, I want to say like that was probably a great movie. Like I really think like one of their better movies on like their whole scale of DCEU stuff. Like it's not, like I said, it's never going to be like Batman and stuff like that, like the Dark Knight and all of that. But it's definitely not down there with Justice League,
right,
and like Suicide Squad.
Right. And Suicide Squad, I feel, could have been so much better had they made the villain to be in the trailers be the actual villain in the movie. And what I'm referring to is Jared Leto's Joker.
That's what we were thinking. That's what everybody thought. I thought like they were gonna be fighting.
Right. They were making the trailer because like, everyone's excited for Jared Leto to be the Joker. And literally, I'm watching and I'm saying to myself, he could have not been in the movie at all, and the movie would have ended the exact same. It would have been the same movie with or without Jared Leto.
Right.
But that's not Jared Leto's fault. Because I think he had literally said like the amount of footage that they cut out of it, they probably could have made a whole separate movie. And for them to not push him as the villain, like it just didn't make sense.
And it was like, I don't even think he got like 15 minutes of screen time that whole movie, if that. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, something's kind of off here. Like even stuff they showed in the trailers weren't in the movie at all.
Right. Is I think one of the scenes that I know that did that, I think in the trailer towards the end, he was holding like these two little metal panels. He had the purple glove on. He was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you." I'm thinking he's not. I'm thinking he's talking to like somebody else. I didn't think he was talking to Harley Quinn. Like that was dumb for him to be hurt.
I feel like that movie could have went so much better. Like so many ways, so many avenues you could have took it, and then
It's like DC. It's like they just go up and down. Because I saw Birds of Prey, and that one was really good.
okay, I gotta watch that. That one I missed because I was in boot camp when it came out. So
Right. So I won't spoil it. That one is substantially better because like it made a lot more sense. It is definitely darker. Yeah, it's definitely darker. But that's what I feel DC needs to do more. Because Birds of Prey relatively was dark. Like it's Joker, dark as I don't know what. That
yeah.
jump, Phoenix killed it. And I'm going out on a limb when I say this, and the viewers are probably going to disagree with me heavily because like there's a lot of Heath Ledger stands that I know, but Phoenix's Joker is right there with Heath Ledger's because they're on two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Okay,
I don't compare them as them being the same type of Joker. Um, Again, I'll try my best not to. Have you seen Joker?
I haven't even had a chance to see that either.
That one too. So we saw Heath Ledger's Joker as just kind of just this lunatic who, off the rip, is crazy.
Right.
In Joker, you see everything leading up to it, and you really look at like the mental illness aspect of this character.
Hmm.
Yes, it's literally just about him, and even still, not even so much the Joker as a villain, more so the actual man that got driven into that.
Hmm.
That's what I'll say.
So kind of give it kind of gives like a backstory or like a behind,
It's
like
like yeah, because it just goes in depth to like how mentally messed up this guy was, and like the things that happened to him to lead up to that.
hmm.
It wasn't like he was born this way, but the youngin had a hard life, and it drove him insane. And it also kind of hints at kind of some things that are happening in society now, where it's like nowadays we root the bad guy if the quote bad guy who's doing bad things is also doing it to bad people.
Hmm.
So he's a villain in all sense of the word, but the people of Gotham are looking at him as an anti-hero hero. So where he's going to kill bad people and good people,
Hmm.
but he's also going to kill innocent people too. So it's like it's kind of it throws it sheds light on like the inward corruption that most people at their roots have, and because of that they root him on as if he's a good person when really he's not a good person. Like I can't sit here and say that he was justifiable. Well, I can, but I can't say that he's a good person. I can say that he's justifiable, but I can't say that he's a good person.
Okay.
Same thing. Um, a lot of the other people that I feel are villains, because a lot of people disagree when I say Doctor Manhattan. I consider him a villain. A lot of people don't think he's a villain.
He's pretty bad.
He does. It's like he knows, but he doesn't know. Intellectually, he knows, but I feel in terms of societal norm, he doesn't.
Hmm. I, I I think it even said it in the what was it? The Watchmen movie. I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe like in the Watchmen movie, it's like he spent so much time away where it was like he's no longer like human in the aspect of like he's not feeling the same thing that everybody else is gonna feel. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? And he's not gonna sympathize with certain things that normal people sympathize with.
right.
So it's Yeah, so he definitely he's a villain, but it's kind of twisted. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Has the theory that I have, and it's like it's moving into like one of our next topics, is the only thing that makes sense about this year, about 2020, is that we're living in the new 52. And this is all because of Dr. Manhattan. The youngest said, all right, from maybe from like 2010 to 2019, something's just been off about everything.
I
So
was I would start at I would start at 2015
really,
because up until 10th grade, life looked like it was going to be like straight, like everything was good. It
high school
maybe
experience was different from everybody else's. Like my mother asked my brother, like, and he told her that high school was like the 4 best years of his life, right? She asked me when were the 4 best years of my life, and I said, I don't know. I'll let you know when they happen. I had a consistently great 4 years. Like I
right.
maybe get two at the most, but then the next year it's just like, all right, I'm good off of that. It went like 2016 wash because it's like the first half of it, January to like August, great. Graduate summer, September to December, trash. My freshman year at Bowie, trash. Moving to 2017,
Oh man,
absolute garbage.
it was so much that happens. Like just oh man, I'm thinking the summer, like I'm thinking, like yes, summer 16, it's gonna be lit. I remember I was committed to play somewhere for basketball, but that got wrecked, and I was like, damn, okay, well, but the music was like insanely good though. So
Right.
like everybody sees like the music is like foreshadowing like everything that was going on. The only reason the music was great is because the artist was going through shit too. So it's like
We didn't even peep. It's like what did Uzi drop in 2016? Which album was it?
uh, that Little Uzi versus the World.
Yeah.
And then I think he dropped another one. That was the mixtape, and then he dropped another one. I think that same year. He dropped the Too Much Salsa Future. What's the name? Drake dropped Views. What else?
Not realizing that these youngins were just as depressed as us. Just just as depressed as we were going to be.
Like man, like I remember. You remember I was supposed to go to the Air Force back then.
Right.
That was. I thought to myself, nah, that's not it. Just to end up where I was going to end up eventually, you know.
More like think about that to think that I was supposed to be transferring after 2 years at Bowie. That was my plan. I'm a one. My plan was to graduate as a music major. That's number one. Like do 2 years at Bowie and then transfer to North Carolina. Not realizing one, I was an idiot my first 2 years at Bowie and I was at home. I didn't even stay on campus. So
Yeah.
imagine what would have happened if I left the state where no one's watching me. Like I would have failed out of college probably.
Man, and I was trying to get, and my whole thing is like, then I was trying to get into college, and I was trying to like, convince myself that school was like perfect for me. Like I'm gonna play basketball, and I was trying to stick with a dream. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, between that and then just the following years to come, like that's what I'm saying. Those 4 years after high school, like, well, this time right now after high school, it's just like you're just like, what the hell? Like, did we get into? And
So that I'll concede to like 2015 is when Manhattan was just like, this has just been going. It's like they're trying to make it go good. It's like they're trying too hard. So let me go ahead and actually just make it everything go bad, no matter how hard they try to make it go good.
like, oh man, like the way life hit is just like down to who like we were around, like the people we were hanging out with, the money I was spending, the unnecessary money I was spending, like Ubers to go places where I'm just like, why am I even here?
Like I'm not going to name drop, but out of everyone that we graduated with that was in our circle, right? And you
Right?
was in that circle, and then even the circles that they had. So this was one huge circle with a bunch of mini circles, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names because you can kind of fill in the blanks of who and all of these people that I'm referring to. personally, I only talk to two of you consistently. Like, think about that. That's kind of hectic.
And if I was to say it, like I'm gonna say this, that original group chat that we have of people, that really original group, like yeah, it's there, but it's not at the same time. Like everything's kind of like abstract a little bit. Like everybody's like not really everybody's there, but they're not there. You
Right.
know, I personally like I know like my brother and all of the sense of Juwan. I'm always have Juwan. Me and him are like, you know, we're like best friends. We've been best friends since I first came to Duval, and I like, you know, first like we've been close, and you know, as a sense like all the bros like you, Steven, Devin, like everybody else, like all my bros are always gonna be my bros, but like outside of that, it's just like, you know, Ansu too. Let me not forget Ansu, because like it's like through those guys, through you guys, I've met different people and I've made more friends.
Right.
And, you know, all the friends that I originally thought I'd have for a long time, you know, like they just, you know, they just wither away a little bit, like, and that's okay though. But I think that's the only good things that came out of the snap, I guess, or like the Haddon saying it's over, like that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So that's a cold game though that he's that he's playing right now. Cause saying that, and then the fact that he sits outside of everything, so it's just like, yo, it's like we're literally a puzzle right now. You're or a jigsaw, no, a Rubik's cube, a perfectly fine Rubik's cube, and he's just every
Oh,
every couple years or every couple months, it's like, okay, let me just try a different combination. Let's see what happens. Let's see what this is like.
he's just like, let's see if they can figure it out. Oh, they can't. All right, flip it again. And I'm like, bro, like this muzzle is already hard.
He can figure it out. He knows full and well that he can figure it out. But
Oh,
it's like he's playing himself in chess, and we're the pawns right now.
right.
It's like he doesn't want to beat himself, but at the same time, he's the only one that can give himself a challenge.
And then you know how I think you know how to like what made it worse. You know what made it worse. Flash went back in time to try to save his peoples, fucked up everything, came back and didn't switch the time back. He didn't fix anything. He messed us up even more.
Just because
And
it was to save his mother, right?
for no reason. You didn't really have to save her.
Not realizing that this was supposed to happen, bro. Like, like, and then didn't go back to like, yeah, he was just like, all right, I got my mother now. Y'all straight, right? Like,
Nah,
y'all good, right? Because who's even to say that even Cap, who's to say what that younger probably messed up from going back and living his life and then coming back talking about some nah, bro, I don't think I will, bro. Like,
straight up like made everything.
they are gonna left to get some 20th century coup. It's, hey, said, I'm going to live my life. I don't care. And how long was it in our run? Like 30 seconds?
It was 30 seconds. And
Live his whole life.
like he got old and he's a super soldier. So how long does it take you to get old?
To get that old, yeah, to get that old.
Like, oh man.
But I don't know. I don't know if it had anything to do with how much he aged. Well, I guess it might have. It might have, but maybe because it wasn't like he wasn't born with that ability. Like eventually, it probably wear it off quicker versus like a Logan who took hundreds of years to get old, like centuries, low key, to get old.
And even then, the only reason he really got old in Old Man Logan was like he it he was old, but I mean that takes place in like 2021, right?
Nah, like I think further down the line. Well, I don't know.
Because I know it came out in 2016. Trying to think, but even then, like he was still kicking and going. And then they shot him. They shot him with that heal serum. Like I guess he was healing slower, but
Yeah, because eventually you're because like that's kind of like basic. That's like human biology. Like your cells regenerate, but eventually they don't regenerate as fast because he has this healing factor that has pushed him for however long he's been alive. Eventually, it literally was just his. He had the same genetics as us. It just took mad long for it to finally expire. So like after like maybe like a good 300 years, then James was like, all right, we don't got it anymore.
And but he was still kicking though. That was the crazy thing. Like he still was like he'll be hurt for a minute, but he was just still kicking, like ready to like light anything up.
The old man, and this is what's gonna blow your mind. We're in 2020 right now, right?
Right.
The old man Logan's storyline takes place in 2509.
Wait, huh?
2509. That's another 500 years from now.
Damn.
That's another 500 years
So,
from this point for that to even be an issue.
are you talking about the comic or are you talking about the movie?
The comic, the comic,
Oh,
the old man Logan storyline takes place in 2509.
okay.
I think even with Logan, that's still like very much in the future.
Yeah, because he was, I think 17 something. He was around in 17 something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, because he apparently he fought in like every American war too. just, just hilarious. That's really funny. I get fought the British, fought the Americans, fought the Germans twice, fought in Vietnam. Like that's 5 decades. Well, not even decades. That's 5 American wars.
And
Five wars
that's
in
all before he had Antimanium yet.
exactly. Like that's hilarious to think about. It's a cold game out here.
Fucking bone claws.
At the regular show, we're talking strictly about comics. I know I have viewers on here that might question what I actually believe. I just want to put that on record. I still believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We're strictly talking about a fable world about a comic book character sitting outside of reality. Just thought
Right.
put that disclaimer in there. Would you say that there could there really be a character that could kind of go toe to toe with Dr. Manhattan that doesn't imply like God level? Because I mean, granted, Manhattan is kind of God level, but it's not quite there yet.
In the DC universe, not that I really know of, because he can you got to find somebody who can like dis displace matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he literally can just like look at you and you can all your cells, all your protons, neutrons, electrons, like all that can be like
Explode. Like I think that literally happened in the Watchmen movie. They were showing like what he did in Vietnam, and literally he was just standing there, and all of the Vietnam soldiers just exploded like into nothing.
and then he even with Rorschach, Rorschach was like ended and he just exploded Rorschach right then and there. So it's like you have to find somebody who can like literally do that. Like I want to say what is it? I'm trying to see. You can if you go to the Marvel, I know more about Marvel. Omega level mutant. What's his name? Gambit. Omega level Gambit. He actually like he's able to like the stuff he's able to do is like sick, and that's barely. Then you got what's the you got Franklin Richards who can make like I remember he shot a toy gun and he made a bullet appear out of that toy gun and shot somebody like so.
That was Reed Richards' son, right? Like he was,
Yep.
yeah.
So it just you have to find like I don't even think we can find somebody who can actually like go toe to toe with him.
Hmm.
Like I don't think let me see. I'm trying to think. Like any Marvel character with the power cosmic, and that's a stretch.
That's
Like,
really a stretch. I think maybe I think Darkseid could have a possible, because what I found out about Darkseid was that even the Darkseid that we see in the comics and in like the animated series, that's not his true form.
Mm.
True form Darkseid actually sits outside of reality, kind of like how Manhattan does. But true form Darkseid, if he were to appear, just the presence of him alone would kind of like, it would cause not even globe, like universal destruction, because his mass takes up that much.
Mm.
Not to mention like the infinite death, the what is it called, the Omega equation?
The
His Omega beams. I think
okay.
I think it's like the anti-life equation or something like that. Well, the dark side is a lot more vicious than what a lot of people give him credit for. That would be the closest thing I would say. But even still, I still feel like because of Manhattan's externalness and kind of like an omnipotence, it kind of feels like he would probably still win.
I
Overall,
mean,
I still think it would probably be a dream match, low key, which brings us, great segue on my part, to our next topic on comic dream versus. So I have three that we'll go through. And honestly, I don't have an opinion. I kind of came up with these on the fly just to see what either of us could come up with. So number
okay.
one, I have the one above all, which is MCU, versus the Presence, which is Marvel. No, I'm sorry, the one above all, which is Marvel, and the Presence, which is DC. Both of
Mm.
these essentially are those universes' God.
I personally feel like if that was to be a thing and it was supposed to happen, you know how there's like different world, like you have Marvel. I mean, not Marvel. I think you have like there's different Earths. So
Right.
like in Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, and then it just keeps going. And Marvel, I don't know all the numbers like that because their numbers are just like out of this world. I think if that was to happen, or even if they were supposed to like put it on a comic book, it would create like that fight or that battle. It would create different worlds, like different universes throughout. Like that's something I would like to see. Like I would like to see it like just spawn off different universes or different collabs. Like
I can't
you
see there being a winner versus I can see them destroying yet creating everything at the same time.
right. Like I doubt there's gonna be a winner. There's not gonna be no winner at all. Like but like I said, like you remember when they did when Marvel and DC did that like collab where it was like Batman and Wolverine mixed together.
Yeah.
So I think that that fight or that battle will bring so much like stuff like that, and you'll have like Earth 72 or some random stuff like that, or Earth like different type of Earths, and it'll just that'd be amazing. Like to see, that'd be amazing.
Right. But overall, we would. So I think what we can both agree is that stalemate, however, aftermath would be something that would probably be the most thing talked about versus the actual fight itself. Because what can you do? What can two entities do that can literally do anything that they want to? Because they
Nothing.
control everything. How can you control someone who controls everything?
Right. That's like something I would be excited to see. Just like see how like their power just I'm excited talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So
Because it's like
like
you can't wrap your head around either. It's like you, yeah,
and then to think like like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know how that's like so colorful
yeah,
and stuff. I would imagine like that battle, like the battle itself, like the colors you can put on the page, like the colors you can put into like if you want to make that into an actual thing, the colors that would just like come out of that, like the visuals. I mean, that's what I meant. The visuals that would come out of that would be like insane.
like actually, what I'm thinking, not so much. I see just light.
Okay.
You see just light in terms of that happening because of what they are.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, afterwards, yeah, I can see what you mean. But the collision itself, I see just burst of light.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like just like imagine something exploding, like something exploding, and then it just makes like this big ass can't remember what that's called, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you drop a bomb in the water and it's just like that big,
Like that mushroom cloud.
yeah, that right there. I just imagine that, but like so big that it's just like it's the size of planets, like it's the size of the sun type stuff.
Like a super.
And yeah, yeah, and that's something I would love to see. Like they're creating that and like different like in different areas of like the universe, like outside of like our universe and like in just bigger things.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Let us know in the comments what you think about that theory and that type of fan fiction. So the next list I have, the next like verses I have Christian Bale's Batman versus Ben Affleck's Batman. Now the only reason I left the other one off the list is simply because we haven't seen it yet. I'm basing this strictly off of the the movie. So the only reason why I have not put Robert Pattinson is because I haven't seen it yet.
And then what if I mention Michael Keaton?
Well, I guess if that's the case, then we can make it. We can do a three. Who's the best Batman out of the three of them?
Okay, we all know who's the worst of all time, but he'll be nameless.
He's not on the list. That's not even in the battle.
But let me see. Jeez. Well, for the top two, for the top spot, it'll either be, in my opinion, it'll be Christian Bale and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, the original. Like when you watch that first Batman, it's like that's what you expect. Everything he did is like what you expect from like for somebody who just like knows the comics or like Batman before you even watch a movie. You watch the Michael Keaton Batman, it's like yeah, that's what it's. Not, I'm not saying that's what it's supposed to be, but everything he like kind of captured in that movie was like yeah, that's what I expect Batman to be, like this smooth, suave guy who can also who like yeah who puts on like the bat suit and gets it in when he needs to. Now,
I
Christian
think
Bale,
I think Christian Bale looked more into the I guess the Bat persona. I think Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne like top tier.
yeah,
I think looking at more of the intellectual side of Batman, more of the fighting, money for gadgets and technology, I would give that knock to Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. And I think
okay,
simply because that's just how movies has progressed, so they're able to do things like that. I think for Michael Keaton's Batman to be as consistent as it's been for it to be made what in the '90s or early
yeah.
2000s, yeah,
It was like I think it was like no, it was the '90s. It might have been I want to say late '80s, early '90s. That movie, I want to say I'm guessing like '88, '89.
let's just check to confirm. 1992.
Oh wow, damn, I was off. Okay, but yeah, like you said, like they did what they had to do with the technology they had back then.
Right.
So and then what's the name? I think his suit looked a little more stiff back then, but that's just because of what it was back then. His suit was a little more stiff, but other than that, he was. I think he's like he's one of the better Batmans like that we're ever gonna get in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna ever touch the original.
A great Bruce Wayne and a great Batman.
Right.
Because I've seen
Chris.
like you can with Bale and Affleck, you can kind of pick one or the other with them.
Mm.
The same argument can be played for the men who've played Spider Man. Like out of the three of them, you could pick one who was a better Spider Man than they were a Peter Parker, vice
Mm.
versa, the better Peter Parker than they were a Spider Man, and then one who did both great.
Right. Let me see. What I liked when like the point you just made about Christian Bale, like him like him trying to like pull off the Playboy, like the Playboy with the money and stuff like that, and him having all the money for the gadgets and stuff. I can see that with Christian Bale because what's the name? I remember when we first saw the first Batmobile. When we first saw the Batmobile, like when I first saw it, it was this big. It wasn't like that old school like car. It was like this big, like a Hummer type vehicle.
Like a tank.
Yeah, and it was fast. It wasn't like no slow car. Like he was like just in it. And then the motorcycle, the bat motorcycle, like all that was amazing. Like, and then what movie did you really see what his mask was like really made out of? Was when he was I think it was like the third one, the when he was fighting Bane, and Bane is like, this is right before Bane breaks his back, and he's just like Bane's going in on the mask, and you can see the mask like folding in and caving in a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's like you see like the little technology that he had, like that was amazing. Like I kind of, and then he was actually like the Dark Knight, like he didn't have no gray in the suit or none of that. It was like straight black.
It was all black. And I think with Affleck's Batman, I think he could lean more into on the production team because it was a lot of CGI with his stuff. So there wasn't really much he had to do. I personally like his Batcave better than Bale's and Keaton's. I think out of the three of them, it seemed like Ben Affleck was the richest Batman.
Mm. And he also was, I think he was the oldest, right? Like he played.
He was relatively. He was an older, and I think he was a little more. He was kind of a little more lighthearted too.
Yeah.
Especially with his affiliation with the Justice League, like it just seemed like he wasn't as cutthroat as Keaton and Bale.
Right. I think well, in I know in what movie was it? The Batman vs Superman movie. I had to watch it 3 times because I fell asleep on it the first two.
Yup.
But
Literally, so did I. Like I fell asleep right before they fought. Like I think that's when I finally woke up.
And then I woke up and I woke up to the part where they're screaming Martha, and I was like, huh? I was like, this is still on. It was bad.
That's funny. That's that.
I don't know what it was, but like I woke up, they were screaming Martha, and I was like, why is this still on right now?
Way to end a fight. Our moms have the same name. Oh, my bad. Why did you say that? Like, why didn't you just say that? Like, why you could have saved so much time and energy.
And then like that movie, in that movie, I think his persona was like darker in that movie. And then once he got, like you said, when he got the Justice League, that's when it kind of switched up a little bit. And it wasn't bad, but it's just like, that's the thing with DC. They don't know how to like give us consistency. Like
yeah, it's like they go there. It's like, and it's like they think maybe it's because they're just trying to make money. Maybe it's because they're trying to make money, and the money comes from the family aspect. If you can't bring your family to it, then they don't care. I'm not bringing my family to see Joker. I'm not bringing my family to see The Dark Knight, but they could possibly get away with bringing their family to see the Justice League.
Yeah,
I think, and like too much CGI, especially if it's terrible CGI, is very off-putting, at least for me. So
yeah.
the villain's name, Steppenwolf. He was animated the whole time. Like and it just looked bad.
Who else? Ares and Wonder Woman. Like,
Yeah, it just looked.
I looked at it, I was like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, it just looked dumb. Like I didn't like the way they filmed it. Just seemed nasty.
Now the one to say that was good though, Aquaman. Like I went into that movie thinking like, yo, underwater CGI, like this thing's gonna be terrible. And you can see what was CGI and what was not, but at the same time, it wasn't bad CGI. It was pretty damn good.
Right.
So like my interpretation of that movie was wrong. Like,
but for that medium, it makes perfect sense. If you're gonna make a film and the majority of it is underwater, it better look magical.
Yeah.
Same thing with because they had to go that hard for Black Panther. If you're going to do Wakanda in Africa, I better not see no poverty, nothing, because that's not where Africa is. I need
Right.
to see riches. I need to see mountains. I need to see royalty. And that's what they did with Aquaman.
And that's what Aquaman was like hell of a movie. I like me. I At first I went in, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna like this. But I went in with a negative mindset, and that was wrong on my part. But once I actually saw it, and then I watched it with you, and then I watched it with my girl, I saw it, and I'm just like, yeah, this movie is legit.
Forgot you and I watched it together.
So it was just like this movie. Like when I watched it the second time, I was like, "Yo, this movie is legit." Like, granted, the bomb in the air part, like, that was foolish. That was foolish. That was foolish as hell.
So funny.
And I remember the movie theater was quiet, and me and you were the only one. It was a packed theater.
I am dying at this. And I probably should. That was probably the most least funny part. That thing was so. One, I love laughing at things I'm technically not supposed to laugh at. Now I know when I need to turn it off. I know when I need to turn it off, and I know when this is like serious. I cannot laugh at this. But it's like when a really bad kid hurts themselves. You want to know if they're okay, but it's still really funny because it's just like, man, I hope you learned. Like, yeah, seeing that is like, okay, this youngest father is literally about to commit suicide just so his son can get away.
And it was just like that probably had to be like, and I'm pretty sure like when the directors did it, they was like, yeah, this is a deep moment in the movie. And here go me and you in a packed movie theater just like busting out laughing. Like
I really wonder if youngest like saw understood why this was so funny. Like it was like the cutaways. The cutaways too is what made it even more funny. They would do the close up on him climbing out on that ladder, and then they would just cut to this. And then every shot it just got closer and closer. It's like, bro, one, how are you holding your breath that long to even keep your arm up? Like, how are you not passed out and your arm just fall underneath? And it was a lot to it.
And you should have seen like people were looking at us after that people were just looking at us, and we're just gone. Like we're just like they're like, are you laughing at
care either. I don't care. They thought that I shouldn't have been laughing. Oh well, that's the movie's fault.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a great time. That was a great time. But oh man, I can't. I think about that till this day. Like every time I see Aquaman, I think about it till this day.
You think about what?
Every time like I see something like I see Aquaman or I see Jason Momoa or something like that, I think about that one scene. That one scene turns into my head. I'm just like, wow. Oh man.
So what is it? Last one for this segment. The MCU Avengers. So the movie Avengers. So I guess let's make a definitive. Let's do 5 versus 5. And I guess we would have to go with the OGs. So Tony, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Cap, Thor, Hulk, and we'll keep Hawkeye, and Black Widow. We'll keep
okay.
That's essentially the original 6.
Yeah.
And then versus the DC comic Justice League. Not not this stuff they put on screen. The DC comic Justice League, or even the DC animated Justice League. I'll even accept that. So we're talking Superman, a Black Green Lantern, because bump that. Wonder Woman, Batman, the Flash, and who was Green Arrow?
You can do Green Arrow, you can do Hawk Girl, and you're talking about the not Unlimited, you're talking about the original.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so Hawk Girl, you have that's pretty much everybody. Superman, Batman, Hawk Girl.
Who you putting on as six? Well, or what? Martian Manhunter.
Oh, I forgot about Martian Manhunter.
Manhunter would be number 6. So we have Superman, Batman, um, Wonder Woman, Flash, uh, Aquaman, and I guess the Martian Manhunter.
All right, so in the fight wise, that's they're so OP, it's insane. Like
Yeah, and
you would have
we're talking about DC, correct?
yeah,
Yes.
and it's like I could see Thor and Superman going at it, but Thor would have to be at the you remember Thor and what's his name in Ragnarok where he was
Not even that Thor. Thor would need Odin Force Thor.
yeah,
He would need the Odin Force to try to hang with Superman.
and that's that's not just no regular Thor. That's like that's like
The Odin Force is like literally one of the strongest forces in in Marvel comics.
and that Thor versus Superman. And if Superman is great, but like it's just that those two, that's one fight. That's just one.
Now here's where Thor can kind of possibly edge out Superman, because of Superman's weakness to magic, I believe, or is he impervious to magic? Is he hurt by magic or impervious to magic? I think that's the one thing. That was one of the one things that let, because that was the one thing that let Shazam hang with him, is because of magic.
Okay. Then that could work in Thor's favor then, because technically, Shazam gets his powers from Greek gods, right? In a sense.
Yeah,
That's it.
but thank you. But what Thor would say a lot with in terms of Asgard was it's magic and science, where they're essentially the same thing. So it says, having gained all his powers due to natural phenomenon, Superman has no defense against magic and is just as vulnerable to an ordinary person. Therefore, DC Comics, which has no depth of magical powers, dearth of magical powers, has often put Superman in dangerous situations, especially when he has faced divine or semi-divine beings. So I think putting him against a Norse god who has magic on his side, that's Thor could possibly edge out Superman in that aspect.
Yeah. And then another thing too, like even down to like just them going like I think like another thing that would happen in that battle, you know how Captain America like he's worthy like he's deemed worthy to pick up Thor's hammer. I think Superman like DC like the comic Superman depend what
He did pick up Thor's hammer. I forgot about that.
and I think like that is something that has changed the dynamic of the fight.
Very much.
What?
Even with Mjolnir, he still has Stormbreaker as well.
Yeah.
So because we're essentially making this battle at their best, their very best. So so honestly, I'm gonna still give the edge to Thor.
Okay.
Thor because of magic being his biggest ally and him still being a god too. It's just like God. If you're God level, like you're a little cut. You're built different. Built kind of different. So I'm gonna give the edge to Thor on that regard to Superman. So I guess the next matchup. I mean, let's just say it. Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Wonder Woman. So let's take care of that. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Now here's the one I'd be interested in seeing. Batman or he can either go. There's two ways that this can go. Batman, right. Captain America, Batman, Iron Man.
Yeah. That's. I want to say Captain America, like he's essentially like, how do I say? He's essentially not gonna say he's essentially both of them, but I'm saying like Batman is smart as hell, but he's also like physically like he's a beast too. But the edge that Iron Man always will have on Captain America. I mean, not Captain America. The edge that Iron Man will have on Batman is like Iron Man is like way smarter than Batman. Not okay. Let me not say way smarter, but he's smarter than Batman, and he'll be able to he'll be able to like pick up on fight patterns, stuff like that.
That'll be his suit would be able to, right? His suit would be able
Right.
to pick up on fight pattern. However, Batman is arguably the greatest strategist in comics.
Right.
One of the greatest strategists in comics. So it wouldn't take much for him to figure that out and figure out how to kill either of them.
Yeah.
I don't know where it said that he had one, but he literally had a kill plan for every event for every member of the Justice League if he had to.
Right.
So it's like he could figure. I'm sure he could figure it out. How fast, I don't know. And I also believe he has the resources to build a suit to withstand enough of what Iron Man suits does. Granted, I think suit for suit, Iron Man is definitely going to edge him out because he can just always make a better suit. He's smart enough to simply just always make a better suit. I think hand to hand, Cap edges out Batman, but because of how smart Batman is and with his bat suit, he would win against Captain America.
I feel like that's true, but at the same time, Captain America's stamina is like no other.
That's also
Going toe to toe with him, like, and then Captain America doesn't give up. From what you've seen in the comics to as also as what you've seen in the movies, he doesn't give up.
not stop.
Like so, they're going if they're gonna go. It's gonna be like some extreme MMA stuff. Like I'm telling you, they're gonna go. But to choose who actually wins is just like insane.
Right.
And then who else? Who's Hawk gonna go? The Hawk gonna go up against?
I would say Hulk, Martian Manhunter.
Okay, but Martian Manhunter's power is so different. Like, yeah, the Hawk would in strength, the Hawk has him, of course.
And the thing that a lot of people don't peep about the Hulk is his anger. His anger makes him stronger. His anger can almost make his strength infinite, but eventually anger runs out. Eventually, you just do not have the energy to be angry anymore. Like that's all of your energy has been exerted. Like you're just not there because he's literally been his full rage has like destroyed planets or whatever things like that. But eventually, I think yeah, his anger has topped that point to where it's like he goes that berserk. But eventually, because you've gotten to that point, you can't go any higher. Like you just can't stay angry forever. I think because he's not the most intelligent
version.
Yeah. I'm sure it wouldn't take Martian Manhunter much time to outsmart him either.
Yeah. So Martian Manhunter is like over 7 feet tall, right? Hawk is like 8 feet tall or something.
Is he?
He's at least like 8 because the Hawk is at least 8'2". Martian Manhunter has got to be he got to be like at least 7 feet tall, and that's just in his regular like green form, not his white Martian form. Or not? Is it white Martian form? I'm trying to think.
It says that Martian Manhunter is 6'7".
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, yeah. Doesn't he have like that white Martian form? Or is it like not white? It's like he has another form outside of his green form.
I think so. And the Hulk is 8 feet tall.
Yeah, so that's why I like this art. Like I think this what is it called? This group is like it's kind of OP, like you said. Like the DC is way more OP compared to like the Avengers.
Yeah. I think the only thing that the Avengers would have over them. I think collectively, the Avengers are a better team than the Justice League. It seems like the Justice League were kind of just a bunch of individuals who are a part of a group. And I think will maybe, but clearly it would take a lot more Avengers to beat just this group of Justice League members. Um,
Right.
because even because what the Flash and Hawk, what is that? I guess that leaves the Flash and Hawkeye. Like, and then to mention, we still have like Aquaman still hasn't gone up against anyone either, because
Yeah.
because yeah,
It's not much you really have in a sense.
League wins ultimately.
And then like even if they use like that special like what's the name? I know Thor and like what movie was that? And I think in the beginning of Age of Ultron, um Thor and Captain America, they have like this type of, was it Age of Ultron? I don't think so.
Are you talking about when he hits Mjolnir off the shield?
Yep. And then it just like
Happened, I believe that's happened before in Age of Ultron. Definitely Iron Man and Cap did it in the first Avengers where he shot his lasers off of the shield. But what is that really going to do?
it doesn't do much, but it kind of like it makes you think like, well, maybe we have something like maybe, and then dang, we didn't even put up Green Lantern against anybody.
I forgot.
So it's just like, what do we really have? Like, we don't really got much to work with. Like,
Well, let me make sure that the numbers are even. So he's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. So we don't have Aquaman. We just have the Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. So no Aquaman tonight. But even still, even without Aquaman, have they lost much? Anything at all?
Yeah, the Avengers lose. I know that they lose, but that's kind of, that just goes back to the whole thing. Like, you know, DC is always going to be more OP than Marvel. But the reason people love Marvel is because you can connect to a character better in Marvel. You can connect to the human side of Peter Parker more than you can connect to the human side of Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
there's so many extraterrestrial people out there. Like you'll meet a Steve Rogers before you'll meet a Kal-El, or even
I meet like 7 Steve Rogers like on a daily basis. Like, geez, like I know one. I actually went to go drink with one. Like I want to say like a week or two ago. Like I know Steve Rogers like all over.
His name was actually Steve Rogers.
No, you know what's funny? His name is actually Michael Scott Norris.
That's hilarious.
But when you look at him, he's like brolic as hell. He has blue eyes, blonde, like not blonde hair, but like it's like a dirty blonde hair, and it's just like he's like brolic, like, and he's like the nicest person in the world. Like he's nice, cool people, but it's just like, you know, I've seen you around here before, just at a different, like you're a different person. So it's like it's a lot of like Steve Rogers. It's a lot of different people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not gonna meet a Bruce Wayne.
Not at all.
But even on the other side, I'm not gonna meet a Tony Stark either.
They probably are out here, but they're not. You never know.
I'm not gonna meet a Tony Stark. I'm probably not gonna meet a Bruce Wayne. I might meet a Bruce Banner, depending on what university I would go to. You could meet Bruce Banner, right? You can yeah, like you said, you could meet a Peter Parker, things like that. But overall, Avengers lose, Justice League wins. So we have time now for our last topic that we're going to discuss. And again, this is more. We can collaborate on this because I don't want to just constantly pit the one against the other and see who's the better. I think overall, most of the things that we talked about was more of a collective thought versus what do you think? Okay, this is what I think. Who's right? Who's wrong? So I have now we're going to create our own comic character, our dream comic character. And here are the criteria. Those who are watching, you can put down in the comments what you would make if you would have your own dream comic character. And here are the criteria: hero or villain, the brains of blank, the speed of blank, the strength of blank, one weapon of choice, one special ability, and one profession should we give them one if they choose to or not to have a secret identity either.
Hmm. Okay.
So and we don't necessarily have to go in order though, because I think if we pick certain things, they might influence the other things too, which will kind of make the process a little easier.
All
So
right.
off the rip, I would want him to have the speed of um not Barry Allen, but Jesus, what is his name? Wally West.
Hmm.
I would want him to have the speed of Wally West's Flash, or Kid Flash.
Okay.
Barry Allen's Flash, the OG, but I think when they did a speed comparison, I think technically Wally West went the fastest because I think he absorbed the entire Speed Force at one time.
Dang.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, I think they said Barry Allen knows how to use the Speed Force better than Wally West, but but technically Wally West went the fastest.
Hmm.
So I would want, yeah. So the speed of Kid Flash, and by all means, if you have rebuttals, feel free.
Honestly, like I wanted to go away from that, like go away from like that's the super speed aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I wanted to do like something like what's the name? I'm trying to think. Like how Captain America is like fast,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like he doesn't have super speed by all means, but he's like a super soldier. So like you seen how in the movie like Falcon was running around the monument, and he's just like on your left, on your left, on your left. Something like I wanted. That's something I wanted my character is just like he's fast, but he's not no super speed. He don't got that. And I think that's something I would want personally.
Okay. Okay. We'll put a pin in both of those. So now, because are you going more the mode of you want him to be a regular, want them, him or her, to be a regular person? Because if you're
Mm,
going that aspect, that seems pretty neutral.
yeah, yes and no. Like I want him to be. I don't want him to be OP'd. You know what I'm saying? I want him to be like I want him I want him to be like a I want to be like a certain type of hero, like not too overpowered, but not like weakling either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Why not OP?
Because it's like the one thing I've learned that I've always liked about comic book characters is just like even though my favorite comic book characters are like really OP'd. Um, one thing I've always liked was I always loved how Marvel was able to break it down. Like you can relate to a Marvel character better than anybody. Like better than any other character.
Right.
Um, So like you make somebody OP off the rip, like Superman. Superman first came out. What does Superman have? Superman has almost every power. You know what I'm saying? Probably now has probably almost every superpower there is. So it's like like the whole Justice League besides Batman, of course, like Flash. Like no matter what Flash you choose, everybody knows Flash is like damn near one of the fastest characters ever. You know what I'm saying? Or like what's his name? I'm trying to think. Or like Godspeed, or those type of characters.
Yeah.
They're the first. When it comes to strength, Superman got it still. Like when it comes to most of those things, Superman has it. So instead of building that, I want to build something like I always want like a character that people can relate to.
Okay. So
Something I always,
on the terms of strength wise, who would you look at?
mm, strength. Dang.
Because if you're going off of that model, there's two ways that I'm looking at this. I'm looking at it and maybe give him the strength of a Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
Because I
Yeah.
think pound for pound, Cap run on foot was faster, but I think pound for pound, Peter was stronger.
Yeah. from the way he was able to what's the name? What did he do? He stopped the bus. He stopped like moving like out of like a bus, like what's the name? Trains.
Yeah,
Like I'm not saying I don't think Captain America do that, but he'll probably get like
more.
fucked up.
It seemed like Cap was just. It seemed like Cap was just really in the CrossFit. Look,
Yeah.
like, he was doing stuff that obviously normal people can't do, but it seemed like a normal person could train up to the point of what Cap can do. So
Okay.
Peter did. No one like because he was like, oh, he almost mutated. Like the stuff that people
Yeah.
do, no one can do.
Mm.
But at the same time, I was also looking at possibly Shazam. He's a lot stronger than what a lot of people give him for. Because that's what the H stands for, the strength of Hercules. Hercules
Right.
had God level strength. You know, like his whole arc is he's a human with God level strength.
Right. Like no matter what, like no matter where the origin you get from Hercules is, and essentially like I may be wrong, but essentially because I think he's known for being the god of strength,
Yeah.
and then he's a big brawly type figure. You know what I'm saying? So that's some that's something I look at too. Like you know, I know this is off topic, but like the original superheroes, if you really think about it, that people told like people like knew were like Greek gods or like mythology type stuff. So that's kind of like that's another thing I kind of pull from, and I get in a sense.
Okay. I can yeah, okay, I can accept that. So who can we is there a way is there a medium for you and I to make for in terms of strength? Because we're gonna come back to this speed thing.
Okay. Hmm.
There a medium? Is there a
Well,
ground that we can have?
yeah. I would say like you said Shazam. I can see Shazam. That's actually really good because he's not the strongest in his universe,
Right,
but he is pretty strong in
right.
his own.
Okay. So we have officially the strength of Shazam.
Mhm.
Okay. Brains. How smart are they?
And this can be anybody.
There's a lot of smart people.
You know who's gonna throw you off?
We think we can decide smartest Reed Richards. So
Okay.
that's kind of like the top, right? And from what I'm understanding from you, you don't want at the top.
Mm. This is gonna throw you off, but Beast.
Mm,
Everybody forgets about how smart Beast was. Like Beast is like
how low key, not OP, but how raw that dude actually is too.
yeah.
That's an interesting choice, and I would not um, argue that. So I'll accept that. So now we have the strength of Shazam and the brains of Hank McCoy.
Yep.
One weapon.
Mm. Let me see. Oh, the arm. What's the name? Winter Soldier's arm. That is like badass. Huh?
The vibranium arm?
I love that. Like I love the. I don't know what it is, but when I first saw it, I was like, "Damn, that's like badass." Like
That was cold. That was cold. Uh, the vibranium arm. Hmm.
I know it's weird, but I love that. Like, oh man,
It is kind of weird. So we have brains of beast, strength of Shazam, and a metal arm as the.
it's it's weird, but I don't know. It's something when I first. I'm telling you, when I first saw it, like when I saw it on in the comics, like you see it.
Because we also have to keep in mind that the arm isn't indestructible either.
Oh, you're right.
And
Well,
that joint got blasted off real quick.
oh, by yeah. what about well, what about the vibranium arm? Even though it's not indestructible, I'm pretty sure it's stronger than what he had before.
Maybe. Was it confirmed that his arm was vibranium though in Infinity War?
It wasn't. I don't think it was. But you kind of I guess like everybody kind of just like
It's,
implied.
yeah, that it was a vibranium arm.
Yeah, and then it was the darker metal, the darker metal on the arm and when they brought it to him.
So what did you if we're going vibranium, what did you not like about about Cap's shield?
Nothing really. It was just like I said, nothing's wrong with the shield at
Okay.
all. It's just I'm not the type to just walk around carrying the shield. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my go-to.
Okay, so our one weapon is a vibranium arm.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I love that too much.
Vibranium arm. And then so now one special ability. I vote healing factor.
Ooh.
Now
Yeah. Okay.
so most to me, the most OP healing factor is Deadpool's, right?
Because he can grow back. He grows back. Like, well, he grows back limbs and everything. Like,
Has regenerated from mush before.
yeah.
Um, so I think an underrated healing factor that not a lot of people know about is Deathstroke. Deathstroke actually has one. It's just it's substantially slower. So he does have one, but it's substantially slower from a Wolverine or a Deadpool.
Well, Wolverine's healing factor. His is if you cut off his head and then like, because I remember Magneto like solely ripped out his skeleton from his body,
Yeah.
but the way to like stop Wolverine's healing factor, you cut off his head and take his head far away from the rest of his body.
Oh yeah, because he can't regenerate like I don't well I guess he can repair vital organs, but something like if you decapitate him, it's not like he can grow back a head.
All right.
You would reattach it, then yeah. So also another healing factor that not a lot of people know about is Sabretooth. Sabretooth has a pretty substantial healing factor, not adding when he was given adamantium. Also, disclaimer, they're not actually brothers.
I found that out. I was like,
When
I
I,
was
I thought it was really funny. And when I found out that he just genuinely, when Sabretooth just genuinely does not like Wolverine. That's all that is. But they're not brothers.
and then they can smell each other. They know each other's scent from like miles away. Like I think that's like I was upset, but I was like, damn, like. And then you figure out like once I found out like once you do your research on everything, it's like I found out like Wolverine's real name, and I found out like what's the name? Sabretooth's real name is Creighton Creed. I want to say the second or the third or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, one or the other. I'm not too sure, but I found out Wolverine's real name, and like they don't have like they're not brothers at all.
Right.
And then you realize it, but I was pissed because like growing up you're hearing like yeah they're brothers, they're this and that, and I'm like okay cool, and then they're not. I was like oh man.
But it's still their storyline is still just really interesting. Like I said, Sabretooth just genuinely hates Wolverine. I think there was like a storyline where literally Wolverine would show up every year on Logan's birthday just to fight him, just to attempt to kill him. Like that's a pretty genuine dislike. That's like me literally showing up to your birthday every year just so I can throw hands with you. Like a play fight. No, like I'm literally coming to ruin your day. Specifically this day. I chill out the day before. I'll chill out the day after. But the day of, you're going to see me and hate me. I'm going to make sure it is the worst day for you.
Yeah, that's what makes like that to me. That's what makes it like that's what makes that whole thing funny. Like, and then what movie threw everybody off? What movie was that?
For which character are we talking about?
Wolverine. It was X-Men Origins Wolverine, and
Okay.
it was like it kind of like gave you the backstory, like where he fought in every war, and it was like, Sabretooth was in it, and it was just like so much. And then I think that was like one of like the bloodiest movies like that they came out with, I believe.
But even still, that wasn't even really bloody. Like there was that movie wasn't really graphic. If we're thinking about it, um, and even still, my issues with that, the how Sabretooth looked in Origins is nothing how Sabretooth actually looks.
Oh
Sabretooth in the original X-Men looked more like Sabretooth in the comics. And
yeah,
that's saying a lot.
but I can't fake like I'm not gonna say I didn't like how he looked in that movie though, like in the Wolverine origin movie, X-Men Origin Wolverine. Even though that wasn't how he like originally looked, I kind of liked the look a little bit. Like he kind of looked badass, you know what I mean?
But he's at the same time he just looked like a regular dude.
Yeah, with just like sharpen like nails, you know what I mean?
Sabretooth in the comics looks like a freaking animal. Like
Yeah,
he's covered in this huge thing of hair. He's huge. And yeah, along
yeah.
along with the long retractable claws.
And then it's not like what's the name? Wolverine. That's the thing about Hugh Jackman too. Hugh Jackman is he like in the face wise, yeah, you look the part, but just standing there like Hugh Jackman's like 6'2", 6'3". Wolverine is like 4'11".
Yeah, Wolverine's really short and he's really stocky. Like he's like not off no like he's thick, like the youngest.
Right.
So I think that's what. So when they were talking about Tom Hardy being the next Wolverine, Loki, that could make a lot more sense because of what he did with his body for Bane. How big he got to play Bane is Loki. How big Wolverine actually is. And he's substantially shorter too.
Yeah, Tom Hardy isn't. I think Tom Hardy's like 5'8" or something like that. Like he's a real short guy.
Yeah, he's short enough.
So, but that'll be something cool to see. I guess like I know we have to move on from like Hugh Jackman because I know he's like Wolverine was fun, but he has to move on.
Right.
But
Tom Hardy is 5'9".
oh, okay. I know as like kids, that's what we grew up on though. Like Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is just like that's all we've ever grown up on. So it's gonna be weird to see somebody else play him for sure. I know it is, but man, like when you see like even when you see him like when you see him in other movies, like I saw him like you don't explain him like as a kid before I knew his name was Hugh Jackman. You see him in other movies, you're just like, oh, that's Wolverine.
Literally, like it's a lot of characters that you can't disassociate.
Yeah.
Perfect example. This is a Pixar movie. Onward. Onward has Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Mhm.
But Tom Holland is Peter Parker. So all I'm hearing is Peter Parker. Chris Pratt, all I hear is Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation. I don't even hear Star Lord or uh what he did in Jurassic Park and the Lego movies. All I hear is this TV show character. So that's a perfect example of like you can't dissociate. Same thing with like Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. Like in anything,
The same character in
he's Samuel L.
every,
Jackson. I don't care what anyone says. He's not Nick Fury. He's not Coach Carter. That's Sam Jackson.
yeah.
Denzel.
And even
Denzel is not Frank Lucas. He's not John Q. He's Denzel Washington.
and then you hear it and you're just like you hear the like you hear like them talk or how they do their movies and you're just like, well, it's not the same. Like every time I see Denzel, I'm thinking like Training Day. Like I'm thinking like what do you say? He's like, oh, you gonna do this to me?
Like
Like
he does that little lip thing in every movie. He does this in every movie. It's like, oh, okay, right. That's all I see in every movie. Sam is just Sam. Like his Sam's cadence is the same in every single movie. I can't
yeah.
see Sam Jackson playing anything else. Well, yeah, I just hear just this angry black man who's just yelling all the time. But so what are we giving them a healing factor, or what other abilities could we agree on? Unless we're going with the healing factor.
You know what I I'm so like I like what's the name, Antihero so much. Like you know right from what's it from Suicide Squad, Deadshot.
Deadshot.
So I personally liked the fact that like he doesn't miss. Like I don't know if that's like a superpower or ability or anything like that, but
Because he's a regular human. There's nothing there's nothing physically different about him at all. He's a regular person. He did it. He does it that much. Like you say, he does not miss. He is the greatest marksman in DC Comics.
exactly. And that's something that I personally like. Me personally, I like that, and I want to add that to my character. I would like to add that, but it doesn't really do anything too special because then it brings to the fact it brings like the fact that like, oh yeah, he's gonna need weapons, he's gonna need guns, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
And that would
So
change the question of what their weapon of choice would be. If they're an expert marksman, and that's what we want
right,
their to be, then we need to give him a gun that's substantial enough to do that.
exactly. So I wouldn't. Damn. Then I'll take away the arm and I'll give him because because I don't know. I just personally I love that so much. Like I love how Will Smith he played that part like perfectly to a T. Like I love that. Like I think like he could have been used better for the movie, of course, but I don't know what it was about that I love the most too. Like his I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
So yeah, I'll give him a gun. And I'll give him the gun. I'll give him
What gun? Because this is one weapon. Like one weapon. Guns does not count as one weapon.
You're right. You're right. Okay. I would give him a what's the name? What is it called? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. Jeez.
I mean, this is a man who was in the military who can't name a gun.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Interesting
I,
dynamic.
I work. Let me see. I shot one thing, and there's one thing like I'm amazing at shooting at. Like I'm right-handed, but I shot it with my left eye. So and that gun is like a weak. It's like a small little gun. None of nobody really care about that. But you can start with like you can give him like a small like assault rifle, like just an assault rifle. I'll say that. You can give him a nice assault rifle.
So let's go through this again, just to hear what's going on right now. What we got? So we have one weapon, assault rifle,
Yeah, there you go.
assault rifle, and his one ability, expert marksman.
Yeah.
We're basically making a Republican. We're making a Proud Boy. I hope you understand. We just made a Proud Boy. Really smart,
Oh God.
super strong, super smart, and carries a gun. Like it doesn't. We made a proud. We better hope that they have no political views.
I don't know why I keep doing it, but I keep going back to like this super soldier aspect of it. Like,
You've been in. They've programmed you. Everything is.
oh God, it was that fast. Like,
I think so. So
we'll give him dreads just to make it dreads and a beard. We gotta.
now we're making him a zombie apocalypse survivor.
Uh,
so now we're still back at speed.
Okay. Since I went Hercules with the strength, I think I probably would stay with Greek god in a sense, and I'll go with Hermes.
Okay.
And then what's next? You said would he be a
hero or a villain?
Ugh. He'll be a hero in a sense, like
An anti-hero?
like a
A what?
like a Red Hood.
Is that an anti-hero?
He's yes and no. Like he he'll mm,
It's like a lawful chaotic.
yes.
Okay. And then would you give him a profession?
Mm-mm,
Or
I
like,
wouldn't.
what do they do for a living?
Well, I would say like he's you can just call him an exterminator. Like he'll come and if you need him to take out down like a corrupt government overnight, he can just do it. Like no help needed, no none of that. He can just do it. Like
So like that task force from Civil War.
yeah, but
Never heard about them doing anything either. They just seemed they just
exactly.
understood they took the serum and then turned out worse than Bucky.
And then from I know this is like a step out there. Like what would they like? Personally, what I would have him wear. So like how Superboy, but like from what is that show called? The show that was on Netflix. It was on like 2 seasons, I think. They called him Connell. Oh wow, I can't. Oh, Young Justice. So you remember what Superboy wore in Young Justice?
Yeah.
Something like that. The combat boots, the combat pants, and a black shirt, a black t-shirt with like a leather jacket or some shit, something crazy like that.
Hold on. Tell me you want this person to look like.
Um, scratch the dreads, scratch the dreads.
So you don't want him to have locks anymore?
I thought about it and I'm like, does that really work? Just give him a fade. Give him a fade, like a messy fade, like what I got or something.
You basically said you want this youngin to look like Roman Reigns. Like, we take my background off. You basically said you want him to look like Roman Reigns. Like, this is what you want?
Not that swole, but I mean, hey, close enough.
Yeah, if you got the speed, if you got the strength of Hercules, you're gonna be kind of big, bro.
That's the thing. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think.
Hercules is huge, bro. Like, Hercules is huge. Shazam was huge.
But you got to remember who he has the speed like. If you got the speed like Hermes was.
Oh, so he's slim. He's no body fat.
He's very compact. I'll say that. Yeah, that'll be the one. Like that'll be the perfect kind of mix.
What time? So, the brains of Beast, Hank McCoy, the speed of Hermes, the strength of Shazam.
Yep.
One weapon of choice, assault rifle. Special ability, expert marksman, and their profession, WWE superstar.
Oh.
No, but essentially they just do what they do. That's their profession.
Yeah.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Personally, I want no doubt that when my person goes against a person, there's no doubt that this person is going to win. So usually, if I make teams or whatever, I make my people OP. I don't
Like that.
either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care. But hey, let us know in the comments if you agree with this list that we have. So before we close, the last thing that I had it was on here, but I'll do it last. Funniest unintentional comic moment, either in a book or movie or even TV show. Because contrary to belief is not mine isn't Aquaman.
Ah man. Aquaman is like up there, but like I really got to think about that one. That one, I've been trying to think about it for the longest, but Aquaman one is up there, like straight just. And then what else? When Deadpool, they're walking through the mansion, and I was like, where is everybody? And then you got Charles Xavier and all the cast from like X-Men Days of Future Past, like they just shut the door as Deadpool and Colossus are talking shit, and they're just like walking right by. That was like top tier, but those two mainly.
For me, and like I'm sure the writers had no intention for this to be funny, but this was during the Injustice storyline when Superman kills the Joker. The look of Batman's face, that to me is that is the funniest thing, because it's like, yo, this youngin did in 10 seconds what has taken you at least 50 years to still not do. And this youngin did it off of one time. He said, what? He killed a who? Oh, I can't that. And straight murked my man.
Yeah.
That one bar is, to me, the funniest thing, because I know for a fact it was not intentional.
That was when you see the storyline and like you actually see it, like he legit just straight
like look at
that legit
really funny. What were you saying?
He like legit punched a smooth hole through him, and then
it punched a hole through him.
Yeah, and then I think that storyline goes like down, like good downhill, but it goes downhill from there. Like the people that die in that, like, no, I don't want to spoil it, but when Nightwing died, I was like, what the hell? I was upset.
Right. I'll put a disclaimer in the description that there are spoilers, right? And I'll even add I'll put in the beginning like a spoiler alert disclaimer. So but I think we're good. I think we are good. Are there any like plugs that you want to throw in? Any brands that you repping that you want thrown, or anything that you got coming up? Where can the people find you, follow you if you're fine with that?
Let me see. Nothing really. I'm trying to become a model. Like, just I did it before, but I want to get back into it. That's pretty much it. My Instagram is nosleep_EP, and that's pretty much it. You know.
Okay. Well, with that, my brother, thank you again. You're definitely going to be back, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be back. So with that, again, thank you, Daniel. Thank you to my viewers, and thank you. Bye.
This is
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes.